Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Good morning, John. I'm Peggy Burton.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. What a gorgeous day it is out there, folks.
Well, right now it is. It's supposed to storm.
It'll storm later on, but right now it's beautiful.
I know, it's a great day, and it's warm.
Springtime has sprung.
Wind.
Look at those beautiful fresh flowers down there. It's just, I mean, it's just good. Those aren't fresh back there. Those back there are permanent.
They're telling me to turn on my mic, and it's on.
And it's on?
Yeah.
Well,
so what am I supposed to do?
Maybe they have a problem.
Am I supposed to scream and talk louder?
We'll get you there one way or another.
All right.
One way or another. I want to know how I heard, Peggy, through the vine, they said you're good.
Okay.
Through the vine that the St. Patrick's Day at South Jackson Civic Center was a ball. Everybody had a great time.
It was fun. It was, and the comedian, Mr. Casey, George Casey, he was fabulous.
But a lot of people showed up for that.
Yeah, it went really well.
And there was specialty drinks and music and.
We had Triquetra dancing on the stage,
yes.
and we had
I love them.
Band of Pearls playing Celtic music in the front room. It was just a really nice event.
Good. And everybody roaming around. Was anybody wearing green?
Everybody had on some little bit of Celtic stuff.
Celtic color, huh?
Just goes to show that I think people like a theme.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
I think they love
it's fun,
a theme.
and there's a lot of people. Of course, this country, no matter what everybody else thinks, is a very diverse country. There are many nationalities. Well, we're all immigrants here, other than the American Indians.
Right.
You know, well, all of us are.
All of us are immigrated from somewhere.
There are little groups of Irish and Scotch, and then there's this one and that one, and different cultures, and they all have parties.
Right.
All of them celebrate.
The Irish celebrate a lot, and I've known several, especially when we lived in England, and it didn't matter the state of affairs in their life, they were always laughing. There was a joke on everything, and celebrating, yeah.
My kind of people.
I have met some neat people. But George was a hit. He's very warm and friendly with the audience, and I felt like he was really well received. Thunderous applause. That was nice.
You probably haven't been watching college basketball, have you?
Sometimes.
Everybody in the Southeastern Conference has been beat.
Yeah, right.
Kentucky got beat, Tennessee got, except the Tennessee girls.
Tennessee girls
are still playing.
Again.
Yes, they are.
That's wonderful.
They're playing well, and Pat Summitt is screaming hallelujah wherever she is.
Her legacy will live on forever.
Well, she was an outstanding individual, and came along at a time when in my mind, I don't see how anybody will ever be able to accomplish what Pat Summitt did, because when she showed up at Tennessee as a player, and then as a player coach, or then as a coach, girls college basketball just had nobody watching. Nobody hardly knew about it.
I know, and
she created
put it on
basically.
The map. She was
by
wonderful.
herself.
Hard worker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Determined.
So, what are you up to?
Oh, what am I up to?
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's always something going on at the Civic Center. I think the 1st of April they open 9 to 5. The Dolly.
9 to 5, yeah. 9 to 5, and
a
then
musical, and that should be fun.
Yeah, Gina Wing is working over there now. Is in the office and answering the phone and working on publicity and stuff like that. And I was really pleased to see on Facebook, I think it was yesterday, they had the auditions for Cinderella.
Right.
And they had a video on Facebook
of each of
all the people who have been cast, and I counted there are 53 people on that stage.
That's what puts people in seats.
That's right, 53 people.
Oh, and
cast in that show.
they're still doing the ballroom dance class on Monday night at 6:30 with Valerie Lawrence. I believe she's teaching waltz, and that'll go on for a couple of more weeks, maybe more. So if you haven't joined that and you want to go dance, well, show up at about 6:20 and check yourself in at the Annex at South Jackson.
You know, we here at P-Head Productions have shown the city board meetings and the planning commission meetings and a lot of city meetings, and you know, that's where the rules and regulations and where the changes of what's going on in our town, that's where all that stuff happens.
Right.
And you know, I think it's very important. We stream that stuff. It goes on our Facebook page, it goes on our YouTube channel, it goes on our 193, Channel 6 on 193. You know, watch that stuff, folks, and voice your opinion.
I agree.
On what you think about the new regulations that are showing up. Last night at the Planning Commission, they were talking about landscape planning and stuff like that. And there are decisions that need to be made. And it's my thought that the community needs to get involved in that by voicing your opinion. You know, those meetings are open meetings. If you think that there's something going on that you don't really think is you want to say something about, go up there and say something.
Jump in there and say something. That's right.
You know, because once it's sort of like the Supreme Court is getting ready to pick, or the Congress is getting ready to pick a new Supreme Court person, and you know, once that decision's made, you don't get a chance to say anything much anymore. So go up there and talk about it.
Yes,
and
everybody needs to put in their 2 cents.
And you know, Winston Brooks, who has been our city coordinator and worked on every aspect of the city, now that Tom Robinson is retired from TDAC, which is the Tullahoma Economic Development Commission, is now taking over Tom's job. And Winston's going to be on the show today and talk to us about that department and what they do and how important it is, because economic development to any town is a very important thing, and they've done a wonderful job. And so we'll discuss some things with Winston about that. This weekend on Saturday, I hope Fran will be here a little bit later. We have our 4th annual Purple Olympics to raise money for Alzheimer's Tennessee, and it's at the Tullahoma High School, and it's Saturday morning. It's a free event.
What time does it start?
That registration's at 8:30. The opening ceremonies start at 9, I believe, and the game's at 9:30.
Good.
So, but she'll be here to talk about that later, and it's all kinds of fun stuff.
She does a great job.
You know, and then there's free food. And there's dancing, and Cat Murray's going to be there to do the DJing, and
however we encourage.
And we have a kids zone, a huge kids zone. You
do encourage people to bring money and donate.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser. It's a free event. Yeah. You don't have to do anything but show up and have fun.
Let me tell you what I did this weekend.
What'd you do?
I went to Motlow and saw David Bethea and Lisa Maurer and the rest of the music department there, and they did a string quartet as well as a piano quintet.
Right.
And it was so interesting. Not only was the music beautiful,
always,
but Dr. Bethea explained about the composer before because students were there to get credit and write reviews, and I was just blown away. I loved it. It was so peaceful and uplifting and fun, and they even did a Freddie Mercury number. The one that's so popular now. I've lost the title in my head. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
And I thought that was nice. But most of the music was, Beethoven, Bach, a lot of. And
Lisa is so talented.
All the people on that stage were magnificent.
And David Bethea has brought a lot to Motlow, to the music side of Motlow since he's been there.
He's done a tremendous job there, and I'm assuming that maybe the girl at the piano was a student. I'm not
Now,
sure.
you said they had a piano quintet, so there were 4 pianists playing at one time?
Good question. Everybody thinks that if they say there's a piano quintet, that'd be 5. There'd be 5 pianists
right,
sitting on the
excuse me.
stage. But you can call a piano quintet 4 strings and a piano. It just extended by the strings.
Strings, okay.
There's no room
Not
for
5 people playing a piano
nobody
at the
can
same time.
have many people have room for 5 grand
Yeah.
pianists right now. But it was a fabulous event, and it was totally free of charge, and I was very grateful to have the opportunity to
wonderful.
be there.
Wonderful.
So I wanted to give a shout out to them.
We as citizens need to look around. Look at the newspaper. Watch what we do. Look at listen to the radio.
And frankly, I think we need to quit being afraid to get out of our house.
No, you gotta
Yeah.
go. You gotta go. The numbers are way down, and there's certain situations where people don't
Of
need
course.
to they still need to be careful, but and be respectful of other people. If someone's wearing a mask, it's because they feel like they
need it,
to.
of course, and
Don't
that's
look
all-
at them and go, "You're one of those mask wearers."
No,
that's their decision to
that's
make.
their
and
always.
Let them make it.
And there will be some people that will wear them forever, and that's
Sure.
fine.
Well, there were some people who wore them before all of this
Right.
because they had health issues that caused them to wear it. You can't always tell a book by looking at the cover.
True.
You need to know the story behind it.
Then there's a lot of women think, well, how nice it is not to have to put on any makeup.
Yeah,
You know?
But it's funny, you can see people that you've known forever, and there's certain distinguishing features of their face that your mind identifies with this particular person. You can't see that.
True.
And sometimes you'll look and go,
I know people
Wait a minute.
will come up to me and wonder why I don't know who they are. Well, I don't
Yeah.
have their eyes memorized.
there you go, there you go.
But anyway.
Well, what we're going to do right now, folks, is we're going to take a quick commercial break. We have a full show today, so don't go away. Maybe you can learn something from what we do. We'll be right back.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
Macarthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at Macarthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring,
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at Macarthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good, nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
How long's it been since you've been to the library? Do you have a library card? Why not? You'd be amazed what's at the library these days. And I have Daphne Gregg with me today, and she is the new director of Coffee County Library.
Youth Services Librarian.
Huh?
Youth Services
Youth
Librarian.
Services Library is what it's called now, huh?
Well, that's what I am. I'm on the kids department.
Oh, okay. So you're the Youth Services Director.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And that's at the library in Manchester,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And what's going on over there? What kind of, you started when?
A week ago yesterday.
A week ago. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What kind of plans and vision do you have?
My goal is to get our kids of all ages back into the library and get them out of their video games and their phones and get them out and about and to learn and read more.
How are you going to achieve that?
I have several different events planned.
Well, let us know.
Awesome. Well, as we all know, spring break is coming up for us. It's next week.
Right.
So on Monday, we have at 10 a.m. reading and rain stick crafts for children.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesday is where the fun's going to be. We have a Harry Potter trivia for teens and tweens.
What's a tween?
In between a teen and a kid.
So that would be maybe a 9-year-old, 8-year-old's a tween.
Roughly. I'd say 9 and up.
9 to 12. Then at 13 you become a teen.
Yes, sir.
Not at 12.
No.
They're not going to let you be a teen at 12.
No, not yet.
Your mama's going to keep you a kid as long as she can.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially with today's society.
So that sounds interesting. You going to have people read to them, or what are you going to do?
For the Harry Potter trivia, we have different games we are going to play, and like I said, it's a trivia game. So they have to guess the characters of the book by different scenarios and guess different things of the books from different scenarios. It'll be
and the movies.
And well, mainly the books. We're a library after all.
We're all about books, aren't we?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I understand. I read all of them.
Very nice.
When they came out.
Impressive.
Immediately when they came out.
Very
I'm a
nice.
huge wizarding fan.
I have a lot of adults that are fans of it, so I'm gonna have to put together an adult event for sure.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I'll make it happen. Don't know when, but I'll make it happen.
Can you fly?
I cannot. I wish.
I can.
Kind of want to see this now.
No, I have to be. I do in my dreams though.
Oh, okay.
Flying's a wonderful thing.
Dreaming is a wonderful thing.
Dreaming's a wonderful thing.
Your dreams make things happen.
And you know what else makes things happen? People like you at the library, because books and dreaming starts when you're young.
Exactly.
And the things that the people like you put in front of young people last their whole life, because they will look back. I always say, you look back over your life and there's always a teacher or someone, an instructor who sat in front of you that changed you. And you're one of those people, because you take the time to work with young people and get their minds working and helping them dream, because dreams become reality if you work at it hard enough and long enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have plenty of opportunities for the kids to come out. With our spring break, we have something every day, around 10 o'clock every day. And then outside of spring break, every Wednesday and Thursday, we have story times. Wednesdays are story times for older kids up to 7, whatever age group, until they can get into kindergarten. And then our toddler hours are on Thursdays at 10 a.m. and that's for littles. And
that's real little.
We do. Last week we had 44 in attendance between parents and children.
Really?
It was
Good
awesome.
for you.
So we get the kids in, we play with them, we do some videos, we do some development games, and we read stories. And then for the children's story hour, we do crafts with them that go along with their books that we read. And then they can have playtime and hang out. And we have scavenger hunts in the library they can do every single month. I'm going to start doing themes for the library. So April's spring theme. May 15th is National Dinosaur Day. So the whole children's department of the library is going to be dinosaur themed. Our books, our crafts, the decorations, everything.
Good for you.
And then summer reading will kick off in June. That is Oceans of Possibility theme. So our children's department will be ocean related. We're going to immerse ourselves.
Mermaid.
You have to wait and see. Come see us.
Have to wait and see. I've always wanted to meet a mermaid.
I don't know if we'll have any mermaids, but we'll have some
Maybe
really
a little
cool stuff.
little mermaid?
I'll see what I can do. But we are needing some donations this year. This is our first year during summer reading outside of COVID, and it's going to be our first in-person summer reading program since COVID hit.
Good for you.
So
get out there, girl.
Yes, we've got to get some more donations so we can get prizes and incentives for the kids to come in and read. We also have a storybook trail grand opening that we started on April 2nd at the Duck River Greenway at Fred Dedman Park. It'll be at 11 a.m. and we are going all out for this grand opening. We're going to have ribbon cutting, we're going to have decorations, and basically you walk the Greenway as a family. You get out of your house, get out of your devices, you walk. You spend time with each other, pack lunch, do whatever you want to do, picnic, and you walk along the path, and each part along the path is going to have different pages of the book. The more you walk, the more you can read of the book and finish the book. Then you can turn it in.
So that's like on a post or something under glass, a piece of paper, or I'm sure it's more than that.
It's a couple pages at a time that you can read on a little box that you can read it from.
That's just outstanding.
Yes, sir.
Well, you just bring all kinds of stuff. You good girl.
We have a great staff, and I've got great people teaching me, and I'm just kind of running wild with it. And
yeah, it's always been a good
team.
Location.
The Manchester staff is just amazing, and the director is top notch. So.
And who's that?
Miss Polly.
Yeah, that's what I was glad to know that she's still there, because she's great. She's
awesome.
Really, really
I've
great.
really enjoyed my week there. I don't think I'm going anywhere ever. I'm gonna die at this job.
Stay right there, girl. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
Know that you can come back anytime.
Absolutely.
And promote what you're trying to do over there. And remember, moms and dads out there, read to your children. Reading is one of the most wonderful things in the world. It can take you anywhere you want to go, sitting right in your own home. Wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Read. Thanks, dear. We'll see you next time,
yes,
okay?
Sir.
We'll be right back.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works.
This is doing my part.
This is doing your part.
Each of us individually.
Acting as one. Keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth.
Like we are.
Keeping our distance.
Each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head. Not in your hand.
But over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I just realized we were on, Laurel. This is Laurel with the Coffee County Advisory Board, and you're here to talk about fostering children, correct?
Yes.
Which is a huge subject.
Yes.
And a valuable subject.
We need more foster families, parents in Coffee County for all the children who are in state custody.
How many, do you have an idea how many in state custody right now?
Right now we have over 100 children in Coffee County alone who are in state custody. And that's not counting Franklin and Bedford.
That's just strictly right here.
There's plenty in the other surrounding counties also, but in Coffee, over 100.
So you're looking for families that are willing to foster children. I have the idea that a lot of people would like to know some of the criteria for being a foster parent. You don't just call up and say, I want to foster, or maybe you do, and then they tell you what to do.
Yes, yes.
How do they do that?
You must be at least 21 years of age, and you can be married or single. You need to pass a background check, and you go through some rigorous training through the Department of Children's Services, just so you know what you're getting into.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so before you get a family, you have to be approved. Mm-hmm. And then I think they get paid to do this somewhat, do they?
They get some subsidy for helping the children out in this way, but it's definitely not as much
huge, yeah.
It's not huge. It's not, nobody's going to get rich off of this.
Right.
It's to help pay expenses for the child, so.
And I would think you're looking for, or hoping to have, personalities that are calm and caring, because a lot of these children have come out of abusive situations that they're probably traumatized by a new set of people taking care of them.
Yes, the children come from all kinds of different unique situations, and there is most likely some trauma, even just the trauma of being away from their own parents, family, their school, their church. Sometimes they're taken away from all of that. And they love their parents no matter what those parents have done. So we need to be sensitive to their situation. And a lot of the training through the Department of Children's Services has to deal with, okay, this is how we are going to relate to these children because they've been traumatized, and we need to be sensitive to their situation and do what's best for them because they've had a lot of emotional trauma.
You have to be kind and realize sometimes when the children are screaming out or reaching out, and it is not about you, it's about what they've been through.
Yes.
My heart aches for so many children that go through that.
Yeah, we need to think about the child's perspective. Some people might see things as being, bad behavior and things like that, but it is just the trauma that child is experiencing and has experienced. This is how it's coming out.
So if somebody wants to foster, is there a website that they can go to?
The State of Tennessee website under the Department of Children's Services has all the information you need. You can even apply online, or you can go to our Department of Children's Service office in Tullahoma on Freeman Street.
Oh, that's easy.
It's on Freeman Street across from Wagner Park. You can go in there and let them know you want to be a foster parent. Or you can go to our Facebook page for Coffee County Community Advisory Board, send me a message through that or comment, and we will head you in the right direction. It's very easy to apply, and then once you apply, you'll get some training and background checks and all the information you're going to need to provide a loving home for that child, whether that child is there temporarily or whether you end up adopting that child.
And there's a possibility, and a very high possibility, that you can change those children's lives.
You are going to make a difference in that child's life.
Hopefully the parents, by having their children withdrawn from them, will get the help that they need.
That is the number one goal of the Department of Children's Services, is to keep the children with their families. If the family is able to make that home safe and loving again for that child, they want to do that, but that doesn't always happen. And that's why we need foster families to care for those children in that time period. And hopefully the parents can make that happen again. Or sometimes, the children can be with a relative, a grandparent, an aunt, uncle. And then sometimes there are situations where foster families do end up adopting because that safe environment was never, made up again for that child.
And those adoptive parents learn to love those children, and so
yes, they do.
Eventually, I think that works out really well too.
They fall in love with the children, and the child is even if the child loves that family, there's always something in their heart and in their mind of their past, and we need to remember that.
That's important. What is the age limit on fostering for children that are fostered? 17?
I believe it's 18. Okay. I have to look that one up.
It might be 18. I'm sorry.
But there are children who the state will still make sure that the children above 18 are getting the care that they need and the support they need up for a few years. When they age out of the system, there's still a transitional program.
And I think you told me how many children, I think we talked about how many children are in the system right now, and you're really pretty anxious to get some more foster parents.
Yes,
correct?
We need more foster parents in Coffee County because the children are taken away from their home, their family, their school, their church, their community, their neighborhood. Let's not take them out of Coffee County. Let's try to keep them in Coffee County, because sometimes they're in other states or in Memphis or in Knoxville.
And that's traumatic in itself.
That is traumatic, to be taken away from all of that environment after the trauma that they've already gone through.
I was thinking about several issues with children and how they feel already unloved and not taken care of, but still love their parents, and then to be taken way away from their home, that might be a trauma that will stick with them forever.
That makes it even harder. Yes.
If there's anybody out there that's feeling like you'd like to foster, I think this is a great time to step up, because it needs to be people that are calm and not easily agitated and willing to do this wonderful work.
And while we're on the topic, we also need volunteers for the Isaiah 117 house, that transitional home that the children are in before they go into
I
a foster
love the idea
family.
of that, because I think taking children to a jail to process is terrible.
Yes.
If they can at least go to a home. I wondered if, when they're interviewing a person that wants to foster, is it important that they have plenty of bedrooms, or like, is there rules as far as that goes?
They do a home study and make sure that there's appropriate living situation for the children. And part of what Coffee County Community Advisory Board does is help families if they need a bed, a dresser, even alarms, if they need diapers or a car seat. But also Isaiah 117 house is helping out with that.
They're helping with that.
Now that we are big and up and running. So there are resources in the community. We even send emails out to a large email list in the community to help meet the needs of the foster families.
I think they've turned us off as far as our time, Laurel, and I hope you'll come back, and I wish you luck on getting foster parents. And real quickly, tell them that website again.
The Tennessee Department of Children's Services on the state website is where you can find all the information about becoming a foster family.
Great.
We need you to foster children in Coffee County.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Hi, my name's Bobby Carter, and I'm asking for your vote in the Circuit Court Judgeship of Coffee County, 2nd Division. I grew up in Tullahoma. I attended the Citadel and the University of Tennessee Law School. After that, I served my country as an officer in the United States Navy JAG Corps. Since then, I've been a trial lawyer in Coffee County for the last 25 years. I feel that I have the legal and life experiences to protect the citizens of this county over the next 8-year term. I would appreciate your vote in the May 3rd Republican primary. Thank you all.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, 101, John Rickman here.
And this is Pat Welch, and John, we're here for segment 101, the encore of the Conversations with John and Pat.
Back in the country, Pat, you know, if a farmer, you buy eggs from a farmer, lots of times they'll throw an extra one in case one is not good, not is rotten or whatever.
Or a baker's dozen, the 13th.
Baker's dozen.
That's right.
So this is a baker's dozen here.
This is a true encore, called and by heavy demand from our fans and from management.
This is a little slower song that I've been doing, is one that Jimmy Rogers did, but I like it. It sort of has a Stephen Foster.
John, I noticed that you made sure you knew who the management had to chip in, who the writer of the previous segment song was.
He corrected me.
Yes.
No, he didn't. He gave me information I didn't have.
He aided us.
I'm getting tired of these big city lights, tired of the glamour, tired of the nights. In all of my dreams, I'm wandering once more back to my home and that old river shore. I'm so sad and weary, far away from home, missing Mississippi and you, dear. Days are sad and dreary everywhere I roam, missing Mississippi and you. Wandering this wide world over, always alone and so blue, longing for my homeland, muddy water shore, missing Mississippi and you.
Oh, John, that's some moving. Even management chipped in a little bit on that.
He knew that. That was a Jimmy Rogers, but you know, Merle Haggard did that, and a lot of other people did too. It was a good song.
I can't listen to anything melancholy like that with a river description in it without thinking about the old story about General Stonewall Jackson that we've mentioned before. He was mortally wounded at Chancellorsville, lost his arm, but while he's rehabbing, he got pneumonia. And he was lucid up to the point of his death, and he was a strong Christian, really devout Christian. And right before he died, he said that he was getting ready to cross over the river and rest in the trees on the other shore. I thought what a great analogy to death that was.
Good picture. Yeah. We're going to talk about a fella that grew up in Warren County near Viola. And show the first picture, if you will. That's him in the center with a vest on. He was principal at Forest School in Chapel Hill. His name was Jess Nunley. And he is the father of Dr. Joe Nunley, who is at MTSU and professor there. And also he is the father of Shot Nunley, who is at McMinnville. And I interviewed Shot not too long ago about his dad. His dad was there at Chapel Hill for many, many years, and
John, let me make sure I'm right. That's at
Chapel Hill there. Mm-hmm.
The Nunley that Warren County, it's his father while he was at Chapel Hill, because that lady's
right.
To his
His
right's got a Forest.
Yeah, this
shirt,
Mr. Nunley
sweater on.
Was I'll tell you a little bit about his upbringing. He was born 1892 in the mountains of Warren County near Viola. During that time, approximately 70% of Warren County's population lived in the woodlands, mountains, hills, and hollows. Jess was one of 17 children and lived totally impoverished. He lived in a one-room, dirt-floored shack at the head of Fult's Cove. His dad, Norman, married 3 times, and Jess's mom, Letty, was the father's second wife.
And his first 2 dying from childbirth or sickness?
1 and 3. 1, 2, and this is about the second one, his mom. In 1902, a flu epidemic in that region took the life of Mom Letty, and an infant brother took both of them. At just 10 years of age, using crude tools and whatever lumber available, Jess built a coffin large enough to hold both bodies. He borrowed a team of mules.
Wait a minute. Jess built, when he was 10 years old, built his mother's and his siblings' coffin?
Where his dad was at this time is unknown. There's no story about that. But he saw the need to go ahead and build a coffin. He borrowed a team of mules.
John, sometime I hope today gets a little bit more cheery, but keep going.
It will. and he put both bodies, mother and brother, in that coffin and took them to Mount Zion Cemetery. And education seemed to be Jess's light in his world. He attended the Todd School there at Viola, and he was a smart kid. And later on, he would, Mr. Todd, the headmaster, would ask the people in Warren County, the education folks, you need to hire this guy as a teacher. He shows a lot of promise. So he did this. Jess was a teacher in Warren County in some of the little small schools. But Jess, in 1916, yearned for some freedom. Let's go ahead and show the next picture, if you will. Now, this is Mr. Nunley right there at the top right. That's him. And, you know, that's a good thing for a principal to do. Get a picture with the basketball team.
Successful one.
Yeah, that's my mother, third from the right there. That's Kat Rickman. She's 102 now.
Wow.
That's my mother. And the next picture.
John, you've gone all. Shouldn't this have been segment 100? You've held the best for the encore.
We wanted to keep it Tullahoma, but this is a Tullahoma Connect. Mr. Nunley was principal there at Chapel Hill. That second to the right is a Tullahoma connection. That's Mr. Robert E. Lee, and he was on the faculty over at Chapel Hill. Mr. Robert E. Lee became superintendent in Lewisburg, and then later on superintendent
in
here
Tullahoma.
in Tullahoma. Yeah. And let's go to the next picture. Who is this man? Let me tell you about this gentleman. Mr. Jess Nunley, finally, he taught a few years, and he said he got tired of teaching, wanted to see some adventure in life. So he got on his motorcycle, Indian motorbikes, with two friends, and they headed out west. And they wound up in Columbus, Mexico. And he and his buddy found jobs building corduroy roads. And just so happened, the notorious...
Which is taking logs.
Side by side, making streets or roads with logs.
Now that would be some hard work right there.
And they were working hard. Just so happened, the notorious Mexican revolutionary, Francisco Pancho Villa, attacked the small town of Columbus where they were working. And gunfire broke out on the streets, killing 17 citizens. In a short period of time, U.S. General John Blackjack Pershing's troops sent by President Woodrow Wilson came along pursuing Villa's band. The three Tennessee lads were unharmed, but Jess immediately decided he'd seen enough excitement and teaching really wasn't so bad after all.
Being raised in a shack, dirt floors with 17 children was better than being attacked by Pancho Villa.
That's right. The friends made it back to the mid-state on two of the Indian bikes using parts off one which had broken down and left on the roadside. Now, one of those guys that went with him was Wendell Oakley, and I guess Wendell Oakley was the dad of a Wendell Oakley I knew, probably.
Of the druggist.
Yeah.
And his son Kim would have gone to school with me.
Yeah. I know they're shot. When I interviewed him, he knew all of them. But when he got back, Middle Tennessee State Teachers College at Murfreesboro become a 4-year institution. So he decided to attend there, and he taught at Mulberry, and he taught in maybe a few other positions, but he wound up getting this principal's job over at Chapel Hill. And he recalled there were two troublemakers in the school that teachers had warned him against, and they heckled him during an assembly, and he took
that was assembly, from what I understand, on opening day.
Yeah, on opening day.
So he'd been down there on the auditorium stage, laying the law down, and somebody's heckling. That would have.
He took them both by the ear, and took them out the front steps. Said, "Don't come back till you act right." And all the students, from that time on, they respected him because he's going to do what he was going to keep order. Now, they stayed in Chapel Hill over there for about 16 years, and Joe Nunley, the son, who was a coach at Lynchburg, and I think we made mention that Joe Nunley was a good coach. He was also, Joe Nunley, the son, was also assistant coach under Creed McClure at McMinnville.
Either City or Central.
City or Central, one or the other.
Mr. McClure went from there to Tullahoma.
Yeah, right, and Joe went probably to Lynchburg, and Joe had rheumatic fever, and I think he decided to go to school and get a good education and all. But Jess Nunley, the dad, this is an interesting story. When he decided to come back to Chapel Hill, everything had loaded up. They'd taken everything back to Viola. That's where they were going to live next. And all they had left was a upright piano and a Jersey cow.
That was left in Chapel Hill.
Left in Chapel Hill. They had a little, farming area. So they loaded that upright piano and put the cow on a halter and put it beside the upright piano in the truck. He said that cow was real gentle and rode all the way to Viola. Don't you know that was a sight going through Shelbyville and Tullahoma?
With a piano and a cow.
Show the next picture there, Philip. Now, Joe Nunley, the son of Mr. Jess, would have these occasions. He called them a coon hunter.
Now, John, let me ask you a question,
yes,
too.
Sir.
From our Rotary days together, Shot Nunley was a big Rotarian, I believe, in McMinnville.
He was a governor.
Okay.
He was a Rotary governor.
So it's his grandfather that coached your mother.
Yeah. His father.
What did I say? Grandfather.
He actually did coach. The principal just stood in the picture. Down on the other end, we didn't show that. There were the coaches down on the far end.
But he was.
But that's a good thing for a principal to do. Getting them pictures. Get those pictures. Let those parents know that you're with the team.
Well, I've shook you up 4 or 5 times here now. Now this is this coaching and teaching reunion that
MTSU professors, people from Chapel Hill, people from Lynchburg, Joe Nunley acquaintances, they all come up there. Some people cook.
What Joe Nunley, though, was kind of revered by the coaches that would go to summer school a lot in Middle Tennessee.
He's well thought of.
What was the deal there? Was there just a natural gravitation to him?
He was a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Joe could tell a good story. Show the next picture there, Philip. This is, you know who that is with a hat on in the back? That is Dr. Don Embry. He was Joe would give people assignments, and Dr. Embry was a part of the cooking crew. Was this when Dr. Embry was at teaching to MTSU before? This was 1976, I believe, or 75 or 76.
All right, he'd been at MTSU at the time.
But that's Dr. Sams that's in front.
He was a revered teacher there too.
Yeah, those names. And brother Womack, Bob Womack was well thought of.
He was a historian.
Bob LaLance. And I was in the musician group. I didn't have to cook. All I had to do was eat and play music. That's my.
John,
do we have another picture?
Our encore. Wait just a second here. I got the butt in here. This the encore. We're going to take our time today. I taught for 3 years after I got out of school, and this deal, I didn't realize I'm not near as.
You weren't invited.
I'm not as jealous now as I was, because I imagined something a whole lot more luxurious in that shack that y'all gathered at. But it was a real invitation to be coveted.
Shirley Majors was there. First time I went, Shirley Majors was there, and I thought, golly, I'd listened to him tell stories. And I'd listened to those guys telling stories, and it was on a cloud. It was nice.
Well, I didn't realize that Dr. Embry was he was on the cooking crew.
Yeah.
Now, from what I understood, that most of the stories were told by Mr. Nunley and some of those MTSU professors, and somebody that would have been my age, if I'd never been illustrious enough to get the invite, he was there to get the firewood. And
is there one more picture, Philip?
Do the labor.
Yeah, that's my daddy on the left. That's Ike Rickman on the left.
Now, how did he get invited?
Dean, well, he's related to me, Pat. He's related.
Wow.
And then Dean Delk, my cousin's husband, and then there's
an esteemed. They've got schools named after him.
There's Joe Nunley, and the guy on the right was our neighbor across the road in Chapel Hill, Clarence Powell, a farmer. And Joe invited folks there, and we all loved it. And they loved Joe, and Joe loved them. Is that all the pictures, Philip?
I hope Dr. Embry gets to see this. Dr.
Embry helped me out with those pictures. And Philip, could we go to that one in front of the shack again with all the people?
Yeah, I want to see that, so I won't be so upset about never being invited.
You know, a man needs to know how to dress when he goes to something like that. And Dr. Embry is there in white pants. He's the one in the front, squatted down in front with white pants on. You know a doctor's a doctor, no matter where he goes.
That's right. He's got a certain level of prestige to live up to.
Thank you, Dr. Embry. Appreciate that.
That is a great picture and a great story.
Encore, that's what we have.
101 is over. We hope management allows the marathon, and we may go into future negotiations. But right now, we're over and out, even though we've got a story or two left somewhere. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat. Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I have some favorite folks that come in here, and there's a pretty good list because we have a lot of good folks in Tullahoma. But this guy right here has been sort of on the top of that list for a long time, and he's our public information director for the city of Tullahoma, who has just recently received a new position, and that's our friend Winston Brooks. And Winston, what in the world are you doing now?
Well, first let me thank you for that introduction. I appreciate the encouragement and enjoy what I've done in the past. But you're right, I recently have a new role working for the city of Tullahoma and promoting Tullahoma. And so I'm now the director of the Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation, for short called TAEDC.
TDAC.
Well,
TAEDC.
I don't know if it has a pronunciation. Economic development.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the job that Tom Robinson just left.
Tom Robinson retired. He had a long storied career in economic development for over 40 years. So he was well known throughout the economic development community.
And last, 10 of that here?
Last
about
10 here, right. Yeah. And so really enjoyed working with Tom.
And with your work as the information director before, you spent a lot of time with Tom, and you were involved in that, obviously, in that the works of that group of folks, and did some traveling as well, I'm sure, to meet folks around the state and different things going on.
That's right, absolutely. Yeah, we before COVID, we used to travel quite a bit to different conferences, networking events, and training events to meet and network and let people know about Tullahoma. And that's coming back. So, for example, this week I'll be going to Nashville for the Launch Tennessee Innovation Week. I'll go up there and do some networking and try to learn what's going on in the entrepreneur innovation world. As you know, we're City of Tullahoma. That's one of the, for the economic development, that's one of our priorities, is to
Yes.
continue to develop entrepreneurs. And with our culture of innovation here and aviation testing technologies and medical services, we want to try to attract more capital and entrepreneurs here. Then on Friday, we'll be going to a similar type of event in Franklin. It's called the Tva Ideas Jam. And that is a continuation of a program we started with TVA a few years back called Community Innovation Academy. And so we're going, and they have a second cohort. They want us to come and visit. And again, it's just a time to network with other practitioners of economic development, entrepreneurs, innovators. And it's going to be led by a well-known gentleman named Guillermo. His last name is escaping me right now, but he is a well-known trainer and innovator in the world. And so the whole region is coming together here for this TVA Ideas Jam, and I think there'll be a lot of good ideas that come out of there, and some good people that we meet. And then in April, we'll be going to the TVA Economic Development Forum, which is a 2-day conference in Nashville, and this is the first time they've had it since 2020. So it'll be great to get back with those people.
So there's just a lot going on, and we need to focus on what's happening here. And there's, that's how you learn. You network and you meet people. I noticed in watching the Planning Commission last night, there was a piece of property that was being rezoned because of light tube.
That's right.
A tech company coming in because of the internet access here in Tullahoma, and that's what that whole thing was developed for, to start off with, was to bring those type of folks to town.
That's exactly right, and again, that's what Tullahoma is known for, is their technology and their fiber to the premise, and that was done. I think it was done in 2009, 10, maybe a little earlier.
Right.
Very out ahead of the curve, but the thought was that it would help, for economic development reasons, attract these types of companies, and so it has increased the quality of life for all of our residents, and being able to enjoy the fruits of high-speed internet. And many people work from home. I mean, there's a large percentage of people that are able to work from home now just because of that. and
we'll continue to, even though that COVID's over.
But we can also manage large technology companies that come in and need a huge amount of data. I don't know what the equivalent of a gig is in electricity, but it's probably like a 500 megawatt transmission line or something like that. So it's a great thing to have. But Tullahoma's got so many great qualities about it. So it's an easy job to sell Tullahoma, and more people are interested in investing in Tullahoma. Everything from commercial to residential is growing.
Is there anything new on the horizon that you can sort of? I know there's a lot of stuff. Winston and I have talked about this before, that have to be kept under wraps, because the companies that are planning to move here, that's what they want. They don't want the ball to be dropped on the court until they get ready for it to be dropped.
That's right. So our job is to help these people find sites, to learn about Tullahoma, find out, if it's feasible for them to operate here. Once they make the decision to choose Tullahoma, it's their decision when they announce it. So that's why we got to be a little bit tight-lipped. But another focus of the economic development for Tullahoma is retail and also commercial. And then when it gets to industrial, we partner with our Coffee County Industrial Board and their new director, Stephen Crook. So I'm looking forward to working with him. He's a great asset for Coffee County. But obviously, the big news is the mall, and the mall has been developing. It's a huge investment that the Crabtrees have put into that. So we've got Marshall's is coming. There's some other announcements on the horizon that are going to be great places for people to shop here in town. But again, it's not ready to be announced, and that's on the company's time. So we want to respect that.
Sure.
But then on our technology side, our engineering side, aviation, aerospace is our bread and butter here, and there is a large aerospace company that has decided to sort of make a presence outside the gate of the base, and I don't want to say right now, but if you pay attention, it will be announced publicly. They're bringing about 80 jobs into town, locating here, and there'll be high-paying engineering jobs. And then, the economic spinoff from that,
huge.
It gets pretty big. Yeah, I mean, the base alone, if you, they do an annual report, and last time I think it was $630 million economic impact. So that's really why it drives what's going on here. But that's the main goal is to help attract capital and jobs to Tullahoma. And we've got a great board. I mean, through an agreement between the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and the TAEDC board, that's their mission, is to continue to foster the quality of life and the economy in Tullahoma. And it is, we're very lucky to have this board in place. The chairman is Lynn Seaburn, who is a county commissioner and been an aerospace engineer for many years, Eugene London, Dave Bond, Steve May, John McCord, Beverly Lee, Rich Ellis.
Right, that's a good board.
That's a great board, yeah. So I'm very fortunate, and I appreciate their support and their encouragement and giving me this opportunity.
Well, and what's important to me is the use of common sense in a lot of these things, and we seem that we have gotten to the point where common sense comes into play in a lot of these things. And watching the Planning Commission last night, the Planning Commission, and I said something earlier on the show about folks get involved. Watch what we do, watch what they do on Light 2, watch these shows that we put on the air, the Planning Commission and the board meetings and stuff. And if you have something to say about it, it's an open meeting. I walked over there last night from here to listen to something about that the Planning Commission was talking about.
It's a great point.
You're free to go in there and voice your opinion. Now it's a political meeting, not a political meeting, it's a government meeting. And so there is a time for you to voice your opinion.
Yes.
But if not during the meeting, those folks will stand around and listen after the meeting because it's your town.
Right.
The people came out greatly for the new plan that we did and voiced their opinion. Keep that attitude, folks, and talk to the people who are forming what our town's going to be in the future, because you get a chance to speak your mind about it.
That's right. That's right. I couldn't agree more. I mean, you're right on when you say, get involved. The TV station does a great service providing the feeds so that people can watch and pay attention, and come out and voice your opinion. That's how the elected officials, get information to help make decisions. And the comp plan, we had great turnout for that. It is in the final stages of being developed. I think people will really appreciate what we've put together, and we need to have a long-term vision so that things can be done with common sense. And there will be the announcement made publicly when the draft is released, because we will be asking for the public's feedback at that time. And whether that's 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever we feel like is an appropriate time for everybody who wants to review it, please definitely get in touch with your elected official or your planning department or myself, because that's something I will continue to foster and shepherd until it's adopted.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when plans and things, are presented, or perspectives are presented, usually it's being presented by someone who is behind that perspective. And that's the squeaky wheel. Don't sit in your house and complain because one or two people is setting the guidelines that you have to live by. Well, get up and go say something about it.
Right.
If you disagree, and guess what? Even though you might not believe it, we can still disagree in this country, and particularly in our little small town, without hating one another.
Well, local politics, everything comes together, and when you're trying to operate and manage a community, we have more in common than we have in differences.
And it's all about for the best of this community that we live in.
That's right. Everybody has a common goal.
And with you being where you are now, I hope we will still get to see you as often as we did before, because you've become a very important part of how we report to our audience on what's happening in our city.
Glad to do it.
You've been the face of that for us, and can't thank you enough for that, and can't congratulate you enough for taking this step, which will help us become enriched and better on a bigger scale.
Well, thank you.
Winston, appreciate you, buddy.
You're welcome, John.
No, you're always welcome.
Absolutely. Well, I'll be
All
here.
right. Winston Brooks. We'll be right back after these messages.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Thank you, John, for that introduction. Spring's just right around the corner. Yes, sir. And thank you, camera ladies, for putting a good, sharp, clear, contrasty, beautiful, colorful picture on the screen of all your subjects. Yes, sir. We had several responses to our sharing about the engine pit last week, and brings back a lot of memories about the railroad. We got a lot more to come about the railroad, but today I thought one of the things that's important to all our lives is the convenience. We hear convenience stores, convenience this, convenience that, and do you know that one of the most convenient things that we seldom even think about a whole lot is the convenience of bringing articles to our home or to our stores, and older residents do remember when you went to the grocery store or any store, why, whatever your purchases were, you carried them out to your wagon or your truck or your car and didn't think anything about it. But now, you know, everything seems to have to be carried to your car, and nobody has a wagon anymore, but to your truck. And it's a real convenient thing to do. You remember, for example, dry cleaning and laundry. You took it to the laundry, if there be one, and to the dry cleaning. But nowadays, they pick up and deliver dry cleaning and laundry, which is certainly a convenience. And we did a segment several weeks ago on the milk plants in Tullahoma that delivered milk to your home every morning. And you put a little note out there whether you wanted a pint or a quart or chocolate milk or buttermilk. And sure enough, the milkman would deliver whatever you wanted. Convenience. And you know, we see these brown trucks for the last 12, 15 years running around Tullahoma. That's the United Parcel Service that delivers your packages to your home and to your business. It's real helpful. And then those of us that participate in their program, they pick up every day too. It's really convenient for that. And remember the little old dark green early 1930, 31 United States parcel post truck, the mail truck that would deliver parcels to homes and businesses that probably didn't have a mailbox at the post office or the rural delivery service. And that's certainly a convenience. And you know, years ago, the products that were sold in small towns would come by railroad freight car. And there was a big freight depot in the 100 block of North Atlantic Street from 1850 until 1921. And when the freight trains would stop to load or unload their freight cars, they would block Lincoln Street and Grundy Street. So they jacked the freight depot up in April of 1921 and moved it down to the corner of Warren and South Atlantic Street, just across the railroad from where Hawks Lumber Company is now. And for years and years, while they unloaded freight there, and the earliest delivery from the freight depot to the merchants uptown was Mr. Will Moppin, a wonderful fellow that had a gray horse and a wagon, and he delivered merchandise that had been unloaded at the freight depot to their destination uptown, whatever it be, horseshoes or hardware or groceries or whatever. And I remember my grandfather that had the grocery store there at 119 North Atlantic Street for so many years, would get a whole freight car load of Maxwell House green coffee, and he would take a wagon or a pickup truck down to the siding, railroad siding in front of the old post office, and would unload it and bring it up to the store, and he would roast that beautiful coffee. They were green then, but he would roast them, and then he'd grind them, and he sold that Maxwell House coffee 10 cents a pound or 3 pounds a quarter, a convenience for everyone. And then as time went on, why those merchants of whatever, whether it be furniture or dry goods or groceries or hardware, would have to drive to Nashville or Chattanooga to pick up whatever they need for their stores. And it would be great because they could set their own schedule for that. And then these suppliers in the cities, the salesman would come around from the suppliers and take your order and take it back or send it back to the suppliers in Nashville or Chattanooga. And then they began to deliver in their own trucks. I know that the H.G. Hill stores had their own company trucks that they would deliver their groceries from H.G. Hill. Had a store in the 100 block of North Atlantic Street for many, many years. and they would have their own, and such hardware stores as Keith Simmons and Clark Hardware would deliver hardware type goods to the J.M. Carney Company and to Marbury McCoy, to Lawson's, to Waiting Brothers Hardware, and Tullahoma Hardware for many years. A convenience to the merchants and a convenience to the folks at home. And it was a great day. And you know, even now, the convenience, when we go to the grocery store, we don't just get big sacks of groceries and take to our car in our arms. We have the shopping carts. What a convenience to have those to move around in. And the convenience of delivery has always been wonderful for folks, and we enjoy it very much. My grandfather had a wagon that he delivered groceries in for many years, and then he got a 1924 Dodge truck that he delivered in, and it was real fun. I sure do thank you for watching this morning. This is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and everyone have a real good day.
I got a tour and I saw all the things and I was so excited about them. Then she took me to the movie theater and it had red chairs, and this is a done deal and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Okay, folks, we're back.
Is it about time to go? We did.
That's time to go, and I just wanted to remind everybody this Saturday at Tullahoma High School Gym, starting at 8:30, we'll be signing up for the 4th annual Purple Olympics. Bring your kids, come over there. We have everything from adult tricycle race to bowling, free throw shooting, a hula hoop, puzzles, checkers, games, fun, food. There's a kid zone.
Starts at 8. Sign up at 8 o'clock.
Sign up at 8:30, and it's a free event.
And
now,
it's at Tullahoma High School.
Tullahoma High School Gym.
Make sure everybody knows that.
Doing it to raise money. We have teams that are involved, but you don't have to bring money to come and have a good time and bring your kids. Now, if when you're there you want to leave $1 or $2 behind to help the Alzheimer's Tennessee office here in the middle region of the state.
You know, I think almost every family in the nation has somebody in their family that's affected by Alzheimer's. And if you're not, you need to research it because it may be you next.
You just don't know it. If you're not, you just don't know it.
You just don't know it. That's true.
And the thing about it is, on the signs, on our signage, it says "Make Alzheimer's a Memory,"
right?
And keep it local, because instead of some other groups that a lot of times you give money to and it all goes out of state, and there's a huge national administrative expense. All this money, except for about 3%, stays in the state.
So if you
in the state of Tennessee.
If you want to donate to the organization, you just fill out a check.
Yeah, Fran's office is right down here
and
in the Shahan building.
And you just put Alzheimer's Tennessee or something.
Alzheimer's Tennessee.
That's what I thought. Okay, because it's a tax exempt for him.
It's tax exempt, and you know, Fran's in her office. She has an office down here right next to Horn Strings, where Horn Strings and Things used to be.
Yeah.
And she's there just about every day. And you know, a lot of these other groups say, "Oh, we have a 24/7 hotline." Well, you know, every now and then you can't cry to a telephone.
That's
you need
true.
somebody to talk to.
I know it's a
And she
huge.
visits homes and visits people.
I think we're supposed to say
helps.
goodbye here.
We're going to say
sometimes.
goodbye. See you at Purple Olympics this Saturday morning. We love you. Thanks, and see you next time.